All right, I'm attempting to press out a bearing. Well, it's the hub out of a Acura Integra front spindle. I've got a press, so it makes this a whole lot easier. Once you get your spindle off, spindle's not that bad. Take your brake caliper off, the brake caliper bracket. Take your upper ball joint loose, your tie rod end loose, and your lower ball joint back there. That'll be it. Now, guys, I'll give you some advice, because you're going to change these, fairly often, depending how many miles you put on your Integra. So what I recommend, this right here, put a little bit of lube up in there, and right in here when you put these back together. That way, when you go pounding on these pieces, because that's what these little pieces, these little nubs are. They're to hit it with a hammer to jar it to where it'll just pop loose. Mine popped loose just fine, and it's been on there for probably almost 60, 70, 80,000 miles, somewhere like that. It's been a while since I've changed them. So they popped right loose. I didn't have to freaking beat on them that bad. It just hit them a few times and they come loose. So keep that in mind. There's even one on the ball joint on your car where it slides down into your control arm, lower control arm. So keep that in mind. This will make the job taking this thing back apart fairly easy. Now, I drive mine back and forth to work an hour each way, so I put a lot of miles on mine. And this is the second time I've changed my Integra since I had it. So the first time I had it, it was around 170,000 miles or so. Now it's got 260,000. So this is the second time I'm changing it. So just keep that in mind. What we're doing here is we're going to push that center hub out. And all I'm using here is a press and a socket. I'm using just a basic impact socket. And I'm not sure what size it is. It's just big enough to fit in there. Now it just broke loose, came easy. It was going kind of hard there. It probably had a little bit of rust in it. So all I did right there was push the hub out. And guys, I recommend you can see we had a little bit of damage there on that bearing. It's the race. You can see we got some wear right there. So now pulling this rate, I recommend you, I'm telling you, everybody's like, hey, we're changing the race. Change this whole hub out when you do this. Makes it a whole lot easier. Then you don't have to worry about getting that race off there. Plus, I had one on my driver's side that actually started going bad. It had a bend to it. Now these will start getting weak inside there, and if you look up on YouTube, you'll see I've seen a site, it was on a forum or something, that these things start to eat away somewhere about in here. And now this is one that I never changed. This is still one, it was one in the car when I got it. But they'll actually break loose right in here, and then it'll start wobbling. And then when this thing starts to wobble, it's going to wear your bearings out really, really fast. So I recommend, for the money that you pay for these, they're not very expensive, change that out. And another advice I'll give you, since I understand that a lot of people don't have, that race is in bad shape. But anyway, I understand a lot of people don't have a press, but if you go to a lot of your local shops and tell them you bring them the whole spindle like this, bring that to them. Of course, you got to get that clip. There's a clip right here. You bring that to them, chances are you can offer them probably 25 bucks to 20 bucks to press all this out. Now, you can basically put your own bearings back in. They're not near as hard as taking them out. But you have to remember, when you're sliding this hub in here, you have to hold the back race, because it will separate from the bearing. So keep that in mind. I'm just trying to, I've done this twice, and it doesn't take me very long, maybe an hour. It'll probably take me a little bit longer now that I'm videoing it, but I usually go through this real quick. But you got to take these off. Like I said, your machine shop should be able to push this out, and just let them know that there's a clip in there. The hub has to be pushed out first, and then the bearing. And take that clip off, and if they will, for 25 bucks or whatever, the total price of press one in and press one out, let them do it, because it's going to save you a lot of time and a lot of smashed fingers and a lot of headache, all that stuff. So keep that in mind. But yeah, a press makes it easy. There's no problem with it. It's time consuming. I wish they would have made the hub that pulled off. It would have been real nice. You think somebody would have come up with something like that by now. But anyway, you gotta press it. Doesn't make it bad. I'm just trying to give some advice to people that may end up having to do this one day. Eventually you will have to, unless you just sell the car and get rid of it. But I'm going to go ahead, I'm not going to film it, but pull this out. Pull this out and push the bearing out, and then push the bearing right back in. So I'll just give you that advice. Like and subscribe and share the video.